today we're doing a self-improvement video, and of course this channel is self-improvement related, femininity related, dating related, so there are lots of things that are under this channel's umbrella. So we're going to be doing the self-improvement side today, and I guess some femininity as well. Before I get into that, make sure that you check out the description box. I'm going to have my Patreon link in there and also the link to my Instagram. Prior to my femininity journey, I wasn't dressing for the right purpose, okay? I was dressing for whatever purpose, which was what's the fastest, what's the most comfortable and cozy. I was dressing myself from a place of having no real positive purpose and direction for my clothing at all, and I wasn't thinking that whatever clothes I wear and how I present myself to the world and society is what society are going to be thinking of me. I wasn't thinking that. I was just in my own zone. That's what I was doing, but I wasn't thinking about the bigger picture, and there is a bigger picture. And when you're not getting dressed on purpose and you're not really thinking about what you're putting on and the fact that the clothing that you are wearing is going to attract certain people to you. They're going to be noticing you depending on what you're wearing, how you look, how you're doing your hair, how you've done your makeup. So getting dressed on purpose can really influence the direction of your life. There are so many women nowadays who still do not get dressed on purpose, and they're just kind of getting dressed for the sake of having to put clothes on and having to wear something to go out. But just take your time and be selective and careful and mindful when you are purchasing your clothes. Make sure you're wearing something for the life that you want. Make sure you're wearing something for the men who you want to date. Make sure you're wearing something that is going to make you be more respected in society and treated well and getting benefits. Stereotypes are a real thing, and stereotypes are really for any race, any gender. But even I find myself stereotyping, I really do, and it's something that we all do, even if it's not in a horrible way, but everybody still stereotypes. And for you to be able to have the man who you want to actually approach you, notice you, date you, and date you beneficially, then you're going to have to think about the clothing choices that you are choosing to put on your body to avoid being a stereotype for whatever race and gender you are. You don't want to be a stereotype. You want to look like that classic, pretty type. That's the type you want to be. And you can't be her when you look like a stereotype. Which brings me to doing your makeup on purpose. Doing your makeup on purpose is going to entice in certain men who are more professional, men who are more successful. That's who it's going to draw into you. They're going to notice you on a positive basis rather than a basis out of fear and confusion with what is on your eyelids. So make sure that you're doing your makeup on purpose. Just wearing mascara on your lashes without any lashes is better than this, okay? Don't do this, just do normal mascara, or you can do something like mine, which is like a soft glam look. This, I would say, is kind of the best medium to go for because it's inoffensive, but at the same time you can still see that there has been some effort that has gone into things, but I don't look like a different person, and you can still tell that this is supposed to be eyelashes, you know, it still looks relatively real and normal. So that's kind of where to go when you're getting dressed on purpose. When you're doing your hair on purpose as well, you want to go more for what looks more realistic, which takes me on to hair. Doing your hair on purpose. Hair is something that is really subjective. Really everything in the world kind of is subjective, but at the same time it's actually not, because yes, we all have our own views on things, but at the same time, we all collectively do understand what we think is nice and what we think is not, what we think is normal and what we think is abnormal, what we think is classic and what we think is trendy, what we think is very current and what we think is old school. We all have that knowledge in our brains. When you're doing your hairstyle, just try to take into account doing something that is up to date, that looks neat, but also something that maybe is classic, because the trends as well, this also goes for hair. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense when you're trying to date a certain demographic. The reason why I'm doing this video is because, of course, on this channel we like to date men who are professional. We like to date men who are successful, men who actually have achieved things in life, men who are excited about life, who want to experience things in life, who have experienced things in life. That's what we like. That's what gets us excited. That's what gets us on that date. And if you haven't bothered to do the initial work to get somebody to get that kind of man to ask you out on that dinner date, then how are you supposed to get that to happen? So this is where getting dressed on purpose, doing your makeup on purpose, doing your hair on purpose, and of course your nails on purpose comes in. Speaking of nails, let's talk about this for a second. Ladies, just keep it simplistic, okay? Keep it simple. These are my own nails. I do not add on acrylics. You don't have to do any of that stuff. It's about making sure that they look nicely presented. That's what it's about. Even if you don't like to do colors, then just do something that's more neutral looking. That will make your nails look healthy instead of just having your own brittle, dry looking nails. Make sure that you're putting that time in and you're doing your nails on purpose, okay? This is your body. This is your temple. This is your house, and you have to look after that house. When you start doing that and you really start getting dressed on purpose, you're looking after yourself on the externally and also internally, in terms of mentally, with your mental thoughts. So you're pampering yourself mentally as well. Once you start doing that, you're not going to go back, because it's going to be very difficult for you. Once you have gone a long period of time getting dressed on purpose and putting your best foot forward on purpose on a daily basis, you're not going to be able to go back to doing the absolute bare minimum. You're going to find that really challenging, and you're not going to feel like you have put your best foot forward. You're going to feel like you've been lazy and like you haven't actually put any effort in. Whereas before you started getting dressed on purpose and really trying to embrace yourself and put your best foot forward on purpose on a daily basis, once you have started doing that, you're going to realize that beforehand you were doing it all wrong. You were doing it all wrong, because you have one life in this vessel, and it's about making the most of it. It's about appreciating it and making the most of yourself, being your best version, putting your best foot forward and embracing who you are at your best. Especially, lots of people like to say embrace yourself, the good and the bad, but why do we always have to drag everything down and make it negative? I feel like we should be definitely embracing and celebrating ourselves at our very best, because we have put more effort in to get there. So if you have put that effort in, getting dressed on purpose, doing your nails on purpose, doing your makeup on purpose, doing your hair on purpose, and you look amazing and you look way better than you did before you started your femininity journey and before you started embracing your body on purpose, then you should acknowledge that, and you should give yourself a really big treat, a reward, or something really nice for you. I feel like that's really important. I really do. I feel like it's important to not just do the work, but to acknowledge the work that you've done and be grateful for how amazing you are. And it's not cocky, it's just self-love thing, and if you get it, you get it, and if you don't, then you're just not there yet, and that's totally fine. But if you're doing this work, you're going to get there, and that's the point. So how can you get dressed on purpose? What can you do? What steps can you take to get dressed on purpose and to look how you want to look on purpose? How do you start? Where do you go from here? I personally would start doing neutral tones and also implementing color, and of course black is always going to be good. It's a staple, but at the end of the day we are trying to be different and embrace a new side of ourselves, so doing something different is also a good thing. So let's get some color. This is just another part of me showing you how I personally get dressed on purpose, wearing things that make me feel good, that make me feel and look more vibrant as well. And also I like to go for classic looking pieces now. I have stopped purchasing just for the sake of it. I want to buy things that I'm going to want to wear. I want to buy things that I'm not going to be bored of next week. So it's about having those classic purchases that you really, really love and that you want to wear, that you're looking forward to wearing, that you feel great wearing. That is getting dressed on purpose. Doing hairstyles that compliment you, that you notice you get more positive attention from. Those are the ones to wear and to rock. The ones that look real. If you are wearing fake hair, if you're wearing add-ons, tape-ins, clip-ins, weave, wigs, make sure it looks natural as it possibly can. But of course, if you're wearing add-in hair, you want it to look more on the soft glam or glam side, which is why you're even adding hair in the first place. So make sure that you maximize on that and you bother to take the time to take care of that hair that you're putting in. And of course, dressing on purpose is going to be beneficial for you. It's going to be uplifting, especially when you're going out. Everybody's looking at you for the good. Okay, not because you're wearing some funky hairstyle or your makeup looks bonkers or it looks like you're doing Halloween but you're really not. You want it to be because you look amazing and you look striking. That's why you want people to be looking your way. Getting dressed on purpose, doing your hair on purpose, doing your nails on purpose, and doing your makeup on purpose, and of course doing a mental pampering to yourself on purpose is going to be the best thing for you on your self-improvement and your femininity journeys. This is going to be the best start for you. Get dressed on purpose. And also, you can't wear it if you don't buy it. If you see it on EastEnders, you're not supposed to be wearing it. Okay, if you see it on EastEnders, you're not supposed to be wearing it. Okay, so yes, ladies, I'm going to leave you on that note. I'm about to go into central London. On Instagram, you ladies have voted for a place that you want me to do my next try on reel. So I'm about to go and record that. I'm going to love you and leave you on that note. But I really, really hope that you start getting dressed on purpose for yourself. And when people say, wait a second, we're almost done. When I say for yourself, lots of people say, do this for yourself. You're doing it for yourself. Even if you're doing it because you want certain attention from men, it's still for yourself. And the reason why, I feel like I just have to do this disclaimer. The reason why it's still for yourself, even if it's to draw in particular attention, it's for yourself because you're getting what you want out of it for yourself. Okay, it's still for you. It's still for you. And the choices that you're making in your life should be for you. Okay, whether it's to entice in certain people, that's something you're doing for yourself. And rightfully so. Getting dressed anyway, anyhow, don't even care what you're feeling on, or if your hair looks disgusting, or if your nails look chewed up to up here to your knuckles. That is not being dressed or presented on purpose. That's being dressed and presented in the worst way for yourself. The worst way for yourself, for what's going to be coming over to you. And I say what because no decent man is going to be coming over to you. You're going to be getting the other people. So it's about doing the things that are going to be purposeful and beneficial for yourself, uplifting for yourself. That's what it's about. And that also goes for how you're dressing, blah, blah, blah. But I really am going to go now. So on that note, I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Make sure you thumbs up and come over and say hello on Instagram because that's what it's there for. And sign up to the Patreon.